If you were to do that.
It's also the one that's most likely to actually be used as any form of official currency. Like it's the official currency of at least one country, and there's another one looking to transition over to it.
Yeah, Dogecoin, forget about it. That was a joke coin.
It might eventually become the official coin of X.
Wait, let me ask
Dogecoin?
Pop. Wait, I'm about to ask Pops. Wait.
Well, in the meantime,
It's
what
a-
I'm going to say
it's
is
a
that
right
welcome to Start Button Live, everybody. We are live. We are lit. We are active, and we are ready to be here and be a part of your lives again. So thank you for joining us once more. Hold on, let me track this a little bit. There we go. All right. So welcome to Start Button Live. I'm your host, King Anarchy. We have here with us Mr. Time Traveling, Mr. Rygen, and Mr. Hustle. Of course, in the back end, we got our good buddy Loon, who is always going to be doing his thing, making sure that the quality that we present to you is as high as it can be. So we got a nice little roundabout of things in store for you today. I got a couple of controversial questions, but we'll get to those when we get there. I think today what we're going to do is we're going to start out with a question that is going to be for everybody here on our panel as well as everybody in our chat. So today's question is just a little bit of a curiosity question for me, but I just want to know what's everybody's worst, either the worst game you've ever played or the worst gaming experience that you've ever had.
That's a tough one.
Was it a Mega Man game?
I mean, I could say the DOS.
The Mighty Number 9?
I can say the DOS version of Mega Man is easily one of the worst video games I ever played. Damn. Nah, Mighty Number 9 is not the worst. It's definitely bad comparatively, but it's not the worst. Fuck. Oh, let me go. I'm about to look at my Steam library. Is it in here? Is it in the Steam library? Hold up.
I'm gonna go look at mine and see if I can find a really bad one.
This is hard. You can't just be dropping this.
I didn't give you guys much time to prepare today, so I do apologize. That's kind of completely my fault.
I got one. Sorry, Metal Gear Survive. That was god awful. Easily one of the worst games. I honestly don't know how. I just googled it. Just kind of what was that fucking survival Metal Gear game? I don't know how. Apparently on Steam has a 6 out of 10. I do not know how that's possible.
I don't know.
Time, you had one too. You had something.
Yeah. I believe for me, I would say the worst experience, and in hindsight, this may have been me being immature, but the only game I can recall ever physically getting to a point where I actually threw a disc was Final Fantasy VIII. I did not really enjoy how hard the story pivoted, because I may have been the problem here. I may have been missing context clues. I may have been missing a whole bunch of things, but it felt really weird. The game went from being this serious military adventure about saving the world to seemingly out of nowhere this sappy love story, which wasn't I don't mind there being a love story, but it was the game was being built up for this one thing. The character was built up as being this one kind of character, and then it's oh hey, I might be a sorceress. Oh man, wait, why is that a big deal? I'm here for you. Just goes running up and just suddenly goes from being this stoic, no nonsense character to just falling apart. And I had no idea as to why this was such a big moment. It was at a place, and I could have been the problem there, but I wound up in that moment getting so mad that I grabbed the disc out of the PlayStation and I chucked it across the room, and I never went back. That was just That was it. I was done.
I think Loon said that his worst game that he ever played was the Lion King game on Sega Genesis. I will say this: that game is infamous for being incredibly difficult. Now, if difficulty is a moniker for worst gaming experience, then I got some. But as far as worst game I've ever played, I'm gonna go after Hustle.
Worst game I've ever played,
or worst gaming experience you've ever had.
Worst gaming experience. That might have to be. It's a tie between Chimera Land and Redfall. Those are both games that I've uninstalled directly on stream because I couldn't take it anymore. They're just both unenjoyable. I'd say Redfall more was more disappointing because that's from a major studio, right?
That's trash.
And that's trash.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's my arcane hate coming out.
That's from a major. It was from a major studio, like a big. It was supposed to be a big AAA game, and it's the most boring, just monotonous. Game? On Redfall, it's not fun. I didn't have fun with it. Like, that's how I gauge most games. If I can have a little bit of fun, it's like, all right, cool, right? I didn't enjoy the first Remnant, right? But there was still enough things there where I was just like, I can see something there. But I have my problems with it, right? I played that for 6 hours at least. I went over the time you can actually refund a game on Steam for Remnant 1. I made it 4 hours on Redfall, and I was like, I'm done with this game. And with Chimera Land, I made it to 2 hours. I was like, I'm done with this game too. And I uninstalled both of those things on stream. For a game has to be really bad for me to want to uninstall that shit just directly midstream and just stop playing the game completely. And that was Redfall. Redfall's traveling system, or lack thereof, was just boring. Everything is stretched out and spaced out in weird ways. None of the characters were interesting. Like, I had a tough time picking a character to play because they were all boring. All the classes were uninteresting. And that's even that's the worst part. When you having struggle picking a class because they're all bad or lackluster, that's a problem. I want to be able to have the choice of not being able to pick a class because they all sound great. Not because they're all just like, they're all mediocre and mid. And those are my worst gaming experiences. I've had a ton, but those or more in recent memory, I'm just like, I would never want to go back to those games ever again.
So, me personally, I want to say that one of my worst gaming experiences was that I can remember. Besides Final Fantasy 13, White Knight Chronicles 2.
Yeah, I heard White Knight Chronicles is kind of disappointing. I never got to play it.
The first White Knight Chronicles had me so excited. The whole premise of White Knight Chronicles had me so excited because it was essentially kind of giving me that Final Fantasy itch that I was missing.
I was gonna say Escaflowne.
I was gonna say it gave me Escaflowne vibes with like how the armors and the suits were.
What is that?
You've never seen Escaflowne?
It's a dope anime from the 90s.
Okay.
But it's kind of set in a very similar like thing, like medieval factions but war against each other, but they also have but their armies also have the ability to have like, remember how they have the giant suits of White Knight Chronicles, like the giant armor knights that you control, stuff like that. Same thing. Like, it was almost like a medieval Gundam, effectively. If you want to think of it that way, that's kind of the closest thing I can relate to. But it definitely looked like there was inspiration from even the designs of the mechs from Escaflowne to how they looked in White Knight Chronicles.
Okay. So White Knight Chronicles, I feel like the first one wasn't as bad as the second one, though. When I got into it, I believe I played it. Like, it's so bad that I might still have the game here somewhere, but I don't remember anything about it. Like it's like a memory wipe. It's really weird. It's really crazy. But White Knight Chronicles 2 was especially offensive because I mean, like, I remember playing White Knight Chronicles and kind of losing it a little bit. But White Knight Chronicles 2, every time that I played, I would probably get about 2 to 3 minutes in, and then that would be sleep. Literally in my chair, controller, mouth open, head back, snoozing, like sleep. So I don't think the game was bad, except for the fact that
you could say it did help you catch up on your sleep schedule, though.
It was NyQuil in game form. And I don't want to like I said, the game could be good, but I couldn't keep up with it long enough. Like it's to me, it's like Lord of the Rings. Like I can't watch a Lord of the Rings movie without being put to sleep. Like I can't read a Lord of the Rings book. I actually own the Lord of the Rings trilogy in book form, and like the whole trilogy in one book. I cannot get past chapter 1 because I am sleep.
Tolkien is a very he does not like the word brevity. He likes over explaining everything, and like some people like that. Some people like knowing how many drops of dew are on the leaves, or they want to know how many blades of grass might have faded because they didn't get enough moisture in the air, or something like that. But it's too much sometimes. It's too much. Like
I thought of a secondary shitty experience because it didn't occur to me that other players could cause that bad experience until I was thinking about it.
Okay.
The other really bad time was at the height of modding on the original Xbox and trying to play any kind of competitive Halo. Like, modded Xboxes made playing certain match types just the worst.
Bro, glitch games were fun.
The amount of things that you could do with a modded Xbox was crazy back in the day.
Oh my god.
Insane. I knew people who had like entire game libraries installed on the Xbox. Like, what?
Yeah.
I never had this Xbox modded.
I really should do it with mine.
Dead ass. Honestly, I might just do that with mine.
We're not saying go out and mod your consoles, but there's some stuff out there that you can do with that.
There's some crazy things you can do with the original Xbox. That's all I'm saying. Like,
I mean, there were some crazy things you could do with the PlayStation 2.
Oh yeah.
Once they added that hard drive and modem,
it was a wrap.
It really was.
Yeah.
But there wasn't really much
time.
online play at that time. So
yeah,
like, I think the only thing you were really playing on PlayStation 2 with that modem was Final Fantasy 11.
Yeah, that's true.
One other MMO. Like, that was back during the time where we actually had what do you call it?
SOCOM.
Co-op.
Yeah, it's SOCOM. That was online.
Was the original SOCOM online?
Yeah.
But you didn't need the modem to play SOCOM online. You need
That's what I'm talking. That's what.
Oh.
Yeah,
like
I'm talking like
hard drive attached. Whatever. I said modem.
I mean the hard drive.
The hard drive, the modem. Because remember, the PS2 didn't have any kind of internet connectivity at all. So they had to put the modem, but you didn't need the hard drive. The hard drive was especially like I believe it came with Final Fantasy 11. It came with one of those games.
Did it?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, because the PS2 bundle. Because I had 11 on PC, so luckily didn't have to worry about that. But yeah, you had.
I still know people who play 11 today.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some non-official servers that are pretty hyped right now.
Yeah.
And I was kind of tempted to go back. I was like, oh man, I haven't played 11 in a
One of my guys is literally a Final Fantasy 11 guide. He will probably be a lifetime player. And when I say a lifetime player, like I bet if I find his name in my Discord right now, it'll show that he's on Final Fantasy 11. Like he hasn't played a new video game in years. It feels like he says that he really doesn't get an opportunity to play games, and his PlayStation 5 is there connected to his 80-something inch TV, and he never gets to play it because once you get an 84 inch TV, a 90 inch TV, Guess who uses it?
Kids.
Everybody in the house except you.
Yeah.
That is the rule. That is like literally the rule. If you don't live alone, you will never use that television because everybody's going to be on it every chance that they can.
Facts.
Yeah.
That's true.
Final Fantasy 13, I can tell about this story too. Final Fantasy 13, because I love Final Fantasy games, but Final Fantasy 13, I got to the open world section. And obviously we know that, there was a part of the game where they started giving you Eidolon battles. And one of these Eidolon battles was in the open world section. And it had like some kind of weird task that you had to do. I literally played this one battle for 3 weeks and could not, because you have to do it within 5 turns because they cast instant death on you. Could not do it. I was so frustrated. And so yeah, I wanted a controller and just get rid of it. I ended up giving the game to my brother. So I figured if I'm going to be tortured, he's going to have to be tortured now.
That's fucked up.
That's fair.
You're wrong for that.
I mean, he got a free game out of it.
Hey,
How's
he's
he wrong for
being
that?
charitable.
Huh?
He's being charitable.
Yeah, exactly.
Give him back.
So what if I give you Redfall for free?
Didn't you get it for free?
Don't you put it on game?
That's not the point.
Final Fantasy 12 was another one of those ones in the Final Fantasy series that I didn't like. That it felt like they literally built the game in such a way that you had to buy the strategy guide.
Oh god.
Because there were certain.
I used to live by this.
Wasn't that all RPGs though?
You
Back in the
shouldn't.
day?
You shouldn't have to buy the strategy
Come on,
guide
you're looking a little
to
brown skin today, bro.
effectively play the game.
True.
Yeah,
Wait, who?
like there
No, I
was a
said, Tom, you're
difference
looking a
between.
little brown skin today.
Am I?
It's a little dark over there, Like,
Yeah, Lou was saying.
I'm sorry.
Up the light a little bit.
I
Lighting.
don't have one of my lights broke.
Oh no.
It's fine. I'm just gonna have to get a replacement. I broke the USB cable accidentally, so I'm getting my Rachel Dolezal on.
Oh, by the way,
That's good.
she got fired today
Yogi
too.
Senpai. Welcome. He swung in
I
like
mean-
Spider-Man.
More than ways than one.
See?
Starting
You
a
probably
new,
cheating it out like I am
new
because
fan
I got a
account.
whole
I'm about to say you're starting
Just
to
for
OnlyFans
fans.
account now?
Just for fans.
I got a whole overhead desk lamp that I have not hooked up yet. And now because I'm holding it up, it decides that it doesn't want to show. But yeah, I got a whole overhead desk lamp that I haven't hooked up yet. So one of these days I will probably actually clamp it to my desk and connect it to my whole setup here so that I can have more light. But until then, I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna kind of use, a little bit of white background to brighten up y'all's day with my smiling face. Because anytime I smile, apparently it's me getting us into trouble. Time, you were saying.
Is it though?
Final Fantasy 12.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just trying to not get canceled.
I'm gonna say, what'd you do this time?
Oh, it's just the fake bronzer.
Oh, okay. Apparently, you can work for the NAACP with that because they didn't see anything with Rachel Dolezal.
I think they just felt so dumb for being bamboozled that long.
Yeah, right.
Like she got us.
To be
Like
fair.
she got us.
Is
To be
this a
fair.
little less HD for you?
He says you're good.
All right. Anyway, so Final Fantasy 12. No, like to Rajan's point, like it was incredibly. Like there were certain parts of the game that you needed the strategy guide for, which, like when I say need, I mean like there were certain chests in the game that you couldn't open, and to the best of my knowledge, there were no like hints on them, like no, don't open this. Like it was, if you open this chest, you cannot get this person's ultimate weapon. So it was like unless you had the strategy guide, or the internet at that point. Which I mean was more common already at that in that era. But or you had access to like the internet with game FAQs or something. You would just go willy-nilly opening all the chests in the game like you do in an RPG, and have no idea you're missing out on something that's going to be impacting you 20, 30 hours later in the game.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Wasn't it also similar to like Final Fantasy VII and shit?
Yeah, there was.
You could beat 7 without the guide, in my opinion.
You could,
Yeah,
because
Yeah,
it was
I
kind of
did.
on rails.
Yeah.
But
Oh no, I didn't.
But I'd have anxiety if I thought I missed something in that game.
Well, yeah, but there's a difference between having anxiety about thinking you missed something, and if you don't have this book to know this thing, you're gonna just
completely
outright
blow your
lose
game.
access to this thing.
Oh yeah, no, that's true.
Like Final Fantasy VII, you could go through and you could beat the game without the strategy guide, and you could stumble across everything without having to worry about any kind of specific order. To my knowledge, like I think the hardest part about 7 was probably Emerald Weapon and breeding a gold chocobo. I feel like those were like a ruby weapon was pretty much was a bitch too, but
well, the dumbass thing with
weapons.
The dumbass thing with Ruby Weapon was like not knowing you had to go into the goddamn fight with 2 of your people dead, so it can't world for you, which is like, and then specifically have Auto Phoenix on Cloud or whatever, and it's like okay, like this is like fuck y'all for making this the strategy for the game.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Do this fight.
Like don't tell me I have multiple choices in most of my battles, but then this one specific fight I have to do things a certain way, or otherwise I can't beat it.
But that's how they always do things with they call them super bosses in each game, like Ozma in Final Fantasy 9 and Omega Weapon in Final Fantasy 8, everything like that.
But if that's like the worst thing, that's still something you can figure out, as opposed to like you have to go back and replay the game and not screw up and know that you're not screwing up.
Oh, Resident Evil 2. That's literally it. There's you can basically make the game unplayable. That happened to me.
OG Resident Evil 2?
Yeah, Resident Evil 2.
How bad do you have to mess up Resident Evil 2 permanently?
I mean, survival games are kind of like that, yeah.
If you run out of ammo, let's say you run out of ammo and you forget that, oh shit, there's a boss that's about to happen. You're not getting, that's it. You start over again.
Run out of argue saving too much.
That's part of the genre, I'd argue, because like survival. Like I would say that's a kind of game over.
That's literally a game over.
I mean, but running out of saves is kind of a bad thing.
Oh, running out of saves, yes.
I'm not saying it's good design. That is absolutely bad, 100%. I'm agreeing it's bad. I'm just saying it's different than the strategy guide bad. It might even be worse. I'm just saying it's different. That's all.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, so I think that we covered a lot of ground on some of our worst gaming experiences. And so I think what I would like to do is I would like to get us into our first real topic of the day. So a couple of weeks ago, we actually discussed Palworld. We discussed Palworld's all of a sudden success, the fact that out of nowhere this game blew up, and Palworld was kind of taking the world by storm. Everybody was playing it. We talked about how much people wanted to play like a Pokemon game, but then it still had that survival element. It was a lot of the things that people think that Pokemon today should be, but Game Freak won't give us. So Palworld had reached unprecedented levels of concurrent players, with just the Steam numbers being 2.1 million, which is like the second most concurrent players for a Steam game in history to date. I believe the only thing that actually peaked higher than that was PUBG. And yeah, that was an astounding success. Like astounding success. As of yesterday, as of looking over the information, Palworld's lost about 1.5 million concurrent players. So they went from somewhere around 2.1 million to about maybe between 500 and 600,000, 600,000 concurrent players, which is still pretty good. Let's be clear. 500,000 concurrent players at your peak in 24 hours, or 600,000 concurrent players at your peak in 24 hours, is actually a really, really, really high level of like retainability. Because even if 2.1 million people tried your game on Steam and 500,000 are playing this game 2 and 3 weeks later, I think that you still have an opportunity to, come back. But 500,000, that's a large drop off from 2.1 million. So the reason that we're talking about this today is because even though it still has 500,000 people, it has dropped 1.5 million people. What do we see Palworld doing as its future? What do we see coming out of Palworld? Like, can we see them get those players back? Like, what would a game have to do in order to regain that kind of player base, or even those numbers? Time.
I mean, my first question is, why does it matter?
That's a good point.
They're not a live service game, so like they're not going to make more money off of microtransactions or anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a Minecraft.
Okay.
So it's going to come in waves. I don't think it really matters if they ever get back to having 2.1 million players at once. I think to answer the question of number one, can they? Yeah, I think they absolutely can get back to having in the millions. I just don't think it's a game that's ever built to have that much going at once. It feels like a game that is going to have a core audience of people who always play it. And then when major updates come, it'll spike in interest again. That'll pass, and it'll be a game that spawns content creators, communities, and all that. And I think what we can take from it is, I think if anything, it's going to be something that inspires more smaller teams to be more willing to take risk and try new things. I actually think it's probably a good thing personally for them that they've cooled off. Because one of the little talked about things is how much money it was costing them to operate the game.
Yeah.
When they were so busy. And again, they're not a game that operates with microtransactions or anything. So like that $40 that you paid, like that money that they got, like that isn't going to replenish. So
Nope.
like the fact that it's cooled off is probably a good thing, because like they were spending a ton of money on servers. So yeah, I think they will spike again. I don't think it's a bad thing that it's dropped. And I don't think they have any real benefit outside of the pleasure of knowing that people enjoy their game and seeing those numbers grow higher. I think people are going to keep buying it. I think it's going to be of interest, and I think it'll get better.
Is that the kind of game that we could expect to go live service one day, or that we should have live service type of stuff coming from?
I don't think so.
Like, would Palworld work with something like a monthly subscription?
I think if you see Palworld go live service, I think it's going to be more something, again, going back to Minecraft. I think it'll be something where it'll have a content store that is probably, if I had to guess, user-generated content. Like I could see them doing something where they release like a Unreal Engine developer kit, kind of like Arc did. And like coming out with like a suite of tools for mods, and Atmos offering some kind of shop for people to purchase like official mods at some point if they want to go that route. If they so choose. But I don't think it needs to, but it absolutely could go that. It absolutely could benefit from it, but it doesn't need it.
Okay.
If that was like a solid, concise answer for you.
That was good enough. Because the thing is that, like, we've discussed microtransactions, we've discussed how games make money, we've discussed why games want to do certain things, and obviously we've also talked about things like layoffs in the gaming industry. So if this game is a success and it's bringing more people jobs, then what can we do to make sure that these people can continue to work and make things that we enjoy? Like, if these are ideas that, say, somebody from the creator studio just decided to stumble across our video and hear us talking about their product, like, by all means, these could be good ideas, because these would be ideas that are coming from the public, and they're not. I don't like to think that we're completely biased on one side or the other. Like, by all means, make your money. Like, if I were in the games industry, I'd be I might be one of those people that, like, y'all should be paying $150 for a video game, but the way that we got to put work into it and things like. But again, that would make me extremely unpopular, and it might not.
Shit, I'll say y'all should pay $150 for games.
Hey, yo.
But yeah, like, again, if I were in that industry, because obviously people want their work to be that. Like, if you put hundreds and thousands of hours into creating something, now it not only becomes your job, but it becomes kind of like your baby. It becomes your masterpiece. You know what I mean? Like, even if it's a bad game, imagine how many people put thousands of hours into making it for you to play it for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was talking about. Like, I think games that cost way too much money, but they still don't cost enough. Like, I think the problem is games cost too much money to make, but they don't get sold for the cost that they probably should get sold for. But it's an industry problem, not a consumer problem, I think.
Okay. So that brings me to another actually a good question, because as we know, with time moving forward, you get new technologies, right? Now, when a technology is brand new, 9 out of 10 times is extremely expensive. So, for instance, when we move over into DDR5 memory, or when we move into the next stage of processors, these processors, these motherboards, things like that, these higher speeds, etc., hard drives, storage, even moving from a hard drive to an SSDs were hundreds and hundreds of dollars. As time goes forward, the price of making those SSDs came down. Does the same kind of thing happen with the programs that developers might be using? Like, or is it that once they pay the price, that's just the price, and that is what it is? Like, for instance, like moving from Unreal 4 to Unreal 5, or Unreal 3 to Unreal 5 for Smite. You know what I mean? Like, what if Smite 2 decided, all right, well, we're going to charge everybody, $30 for basic access to the game, even though our last game was free? Like, is that something that, that they might need to do to offset costs of programs and things of that nature?
Programs don't need to cost as much as they fucking do, in my opinion.
It depends on the software. Like,
I'm not a programmer, so that's why I have this question. I'm a normal guy.
I think it depends on the software and the range of use, or population of use. Like, what's the install base of the software? Like, what does it cost to develop? Who really needs their hands on it, realistically? Because everyone doesn't need this software, because it's very niche software, obviously, so it's not widespread. So obviously, those have a higher cost to entry compared to like an antivirus program, obviously, or some shit.
Did you just say what virus program?
Like an antivirus program? No, antivirus program. I'm saying it's niche software, so
you don't want to know what I wrote.
I don't want to know.
Studios tend to be pretty selective about who gets access to what. So, like, an example would be like, I might be a QA at one studio, and I might have access to a Photoshop license.
Okay.
But I go to another studio, and I will definitively not have access to a Photoshop license. You may have to get approval for you may have to get approval for some basic stuff that you would be surprised you have to get approval for, depending on times. Like they are trying to cut costs where they can, and in a lot of cases with like these studios like Autodesk, they sell it like these like per seat, where it's like you get like X amount, and then you can distribute them however you want. It's complicated. To get more to the point of like, is it?
Well, the question is, games cost a lot of money to make, right? And thus, sometimes that cost is passed down to us. How can we help that situation is the question.
Right, and that's kind of what I'm trying to get at here. Is like, it's not a simple answer, because like, again, I'm only speaking from my limited view. Like, I don't have access to business details or anything like that. I'm just speaking as someone who's spent almost 10 years now in games, like 8-9 years. Spent a bunch of time working in various retail jobs over the years that have me looking at stuff. So I'm trying to extrapolate like business stuff from that, and then just using common sense when I talk about some of this stuff. It is my opinion that live service games would benefit from having more subscriptions, I think. I don't think that would be a very popular way of going about it for people, but I'm not sure if I've hit this on stream or not. But if I didn't, the basic philosophy behind it is that having subscriptions gives you more predictability and gives you a better ability to plan for content. When you're not in that world, you're just going off of like, again, very good analytics, but it goes from being like, here's a reliable source of income we can bank on, to we're pretty sure people are going to spend this much. We're pretty sure market shows that this is going to be a hit item. We're pretty sure, like, as opposed to like historically for the last 2 years now, we can say we've had this many transactions at this period, this many transactions. Like, you would be surprised at like the amount of data these people have and like the kinds of charts they come up with and how freaking scarily accurate they can be. Subscriptions would definitely be a way of help, but again, it's not. I don't think it's a solution. I think the honest to God truth is, a lot of studios need to ask themselves if we need to have such big teams in some cases. In some cases, owners of studios need to ask themselves if they really need to have a team that's located in California or in Washington or in New York, or if maybe we can start trying to adapt with 2024 and allowing people to go remote. Like, I think remote work could potentially be something that helps bring the cost down. One of the problems right now is a lot of these game studios are located in dense cities where rents are only getting higher and salaries are only having to go up. Like a studio 700 square foot apartment where I live in my area, I think they start at like 2,200 these days. Like, I'm talking to someone who, studio. Like,
That's crazy.
I know someone looking for. Sorry.
It's ridiculous.
No, go ahead.
I know someone looking for an apartment right now, and like I've been talking to him, and like for anything within like a reasonable commute to work, it's like $2,700 for him right now for what he's looking for like a 1-bedroom apartment that might have an office. Yeah, it's like 2,700. It's not uncommon, especially in QA. It's not uncommon for like professional game devs who've been working for 7 years to have 2 or 3 roommates to be able to get by. And like my very first situation was in Washington, where I was living in a 3-bedroom apartment with 4 people that lived in it. And one of us had like a makeshift room. Like, one of us slept on like a couch. Like, yeah, like game devs pretty freaking nuts.
It's
$2,700.
$2,000, $400 a year.
Wait, what?
$2,700 for one person is $32,400 a year.
just
So,
rent. Ain't
real
To,
quick.
to put that in perspective, a person who makes 60 something thousand, not say 60 grand a year, right? You get taxed at a 24% tax, 22% tax rate. Yes, 22% for 60,000. So you get taxed at a 22% tax rate. That's federal. Then you still have to pay state taxes. Then you still have to have health insurance. Then you still have to pay Social Security. So your take home is probably going to be somewhere around the point of maybe, if you're lucky, 38,000, maybe 40,000 tops. Because remember, 22% of your income is already taken out for taxes.
Well, also keep in mind that these apartment complexes want you to make 3 times that to be able to live there. Like, you have to have like 3x income to be able to get a place. Like, I'm grateful that I got in when I did. My rent's only $2,200.
That's still ridiculous.
Yeah, but like you have to make really good money to be able to live in these places. And here's the thing. Here's an even crazier example. Sorry for derailing this topic. But like when I lived in Washington, my very first apartment was like $750 a month for rent. It was freaking awesome.
That's what I would imagine that a studio apartment cost. Like,
Yeah.
that's what it used to. $400, $500, and $600 is like maybe that's showing my age.
Well, you ready for this? I moved out of that place. Within 2 years of being gone, the rent was up to $1,400.
Oh, whoa, what?
You almost made hustle choke.
Yeah.
Insane.
How's that legal?
And this was in. You ready for this? This was in the quote unquote not great, like great area. It was a good area, don't get me wrong, but it was just like comparatively, it was like to get to Redmond, I want to say it was like a 30-minute drive. Like in traffic, it was taking me about an hour to get to work. So Redmond, actually here, let me just see real quick. Redmond apartments. Redmond, here we go. Was expensive. But yeah, so that was up to like 2,400. Yeah, it was nuts. Irvine's not much better, although I live in the freaking most expensive city in the country, apparently. But
That'd be San Francisco.
No, it's Irvine, California, as it turns out.
What?
Yeah.
Isn't that like right next to Silicon Valley?
I'm like 5 or 6 hours away from San Fran, I think.
Okay.
So
where I used to live, rent is now almost $3,000 a month. Up in Washington.
That's double. Wow. That is double, like around double my mortgage. That's
more than double of what it went to after you left.
Yeah, this is one of the problems in the games industry and why games cost so much money. Is because of the
problem in the housing industry in general, because that's ridiculous.
Well, so forget about the housing and just focus on like this topic, right? Like, game studios are choosing to operate in these places, and they're refusing to go to just full out remote work or anything like that, causing a lot of people to leave the games industry right now. But like, so it's like you have to make $6,600 a month if you were to move into this place today, just to qualify for what they want you to qualify for to be able to move into these places. And the problem is that with the way rent works, this carries out to like the next few cities over. So it's like I could go 30 minutes out and pay $2,200 a month for a 1-bedroom, but now I'm going to have to deal with California traffic, and that wouldn't still be too bad. But like now I go from like a 10-minute commute to work to having to commute up to like, I know some people who commute 3 hours each day, not like each way,
hour and a half each way,
but like, yeah, they commute an hour and a half each way to and from work. Like they're having to get to the office at like 6 a.m. to be able to get home at a reasonable time.
So they get up at 4:30 No, they leave at 4:30, meaning they probably get up at like 3 something.
Yeah. And like that's a pretty common thing in the games industry. Like there are people who make the choice to like live 2 hours away from work just so like their family can have a house and a decent school and be able to do all that. It's working in the games industry is a sacrifice and it is tough at times. But we need to address these kinds of things to bring the cost of games down. Like I feel like personally, like I feel like when you're almost having to be at a point where like $80,000 is kind of where you have to start for your employees to be able to have like a sustainable life. Like throw 100 people on a game with an $80,000 base salary as like what you have to have. Now keep in mind, you have to compete, right? So like they're trying to pull engineers from like Facebook and like Google and all these places. They're having to compete with those. It's nuts. It's a really shitty situation we're in. I feel like if we offered more remote work, it would be
ridiculous right now.
But something also has to be done about the price of living, because just the price of housing is causing a really big bubble.
Because landlords take advantage of it.
Yeah, of course. And once one landlord raises the rent and people will pay it, then all the rest of them around them are going to raise the rent. And so now it looks like there's a whole trend, and that's just what the price is now, and the price is the price, and there's nothing that actually stops it. Like
I switched landlords, so now my rent goes up by 4% every year now. The lady I had before me never raised my shit for like 10 whole years.
Make 4% more money.
But
I'm kidding. It was a joke.
But do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying, though?
I get it. Like,
one side goes straight profit.
Because the problem is that we don't get cost of living allowances. The last time that I got a cost of living allowance was when I was working for the U.S. Postal Service. That was, I don't know, 15 years ago. So, no. Cost of living allowances and incremental raises like that don't exist anymore. So no. I get it. As our resident,
sorry, I was gonna say Bungie actually just recently lost that benefit.
Really?
Yeah, when Bungie was making all those slashes, Bungie was one of the few studios I have ever heard of that they did They did 2 different pay raises at one time each year. They did a cost of living pay raise, and on top of that, they would do your merit increase, because to them, they didn't feel like your merit increase should be your cost of living adjustment. It didn't make sense to them. But after the recent struggles they've had, they recently had that taken away from them. So this year, they're not getting their cost of living adjustment, nor are they getting their
merit increase.
I'm not even sure if they're getting their merit increase, to be honest with you. I know that they lost all their bonuses.
I don't get merit increases. My pay would stay the same for 10 years if I didn't fight tooth and nail to have it changed every so often. Fortunately, I lucked up and got a good boss.
It's the fact that you have to do that in the first place, too.
It's just how it is. Companies stop doing annual pay raises or and all that. It's
except for the CEO.
Normal practice.
Except for the CEO, he gets pay raise all the time.
Maybe.
Not what CEO hasn't gotten pay raises?
I'm not a CEO. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I said maybe because allegedly.
I was just flipping out of this conversation because I work for a good company.
Yeah, you work for a company that actually gives a shit about you.
Ryzen almost went feet up in the camera, bro. Like, what CEO doesn't get paid? I don't know. Like, CEOs still have to answer to things like boards of directors, etc.
And they get bonuses when they answer them.
I don't think that's as the resident Palworld Pokemon hater, what do you think? You haven't chimed in on this at all.
I was letting y'all cook. I like letting people cook and talk. But no, going back to like the first part, specifically talking about Palworld, what do they need to do to at least, I'm not gonna say keep momentum, because obviously they're never gonna.
What do they need to do to gain your business?
To be perfectly honest, I've gone on this before. It's a combination, like my two least favorite genres. Like, I don't know why. Like, I can't get into survivor games. Like, the only one that got me was Valheim.
I can't either.
I can't. The only one that got me was Valheim. I tried, and also
I play Enshrouded.
But also the thing, I like Unshrouded because it's like a more enhanced Valheim. But I need people to play it with.
Yeah, I don't have it yet.
But my schedule is
wanted to play or it does play Enshrouded.
What's that?
I said my brother wanted to play or does play.
He has it. Yeah, APOC has it. You can play with him.
As far as the Palworld thing goes, like taking my haterism aside of the, I think what they really need to do is like, I'm assuming this is what they're doing, but I'm just saying like as far as like a consumer for one to come in and maybe start fresh or at least be excited for the future. I think they need to come out with like some kind of publicized like plan of what is coming next. Because like if I'm
like a roadmap,
like an actual roadmap. Is there like an actual like detailed one? Like,
yeah, there's a detailed roadmap.
I haven't seen that yet. Are there battles coming soon?
Yep.
Okay.
PvP and Palworld PvP battle.
So what's your other least favorite genre?
Well, I was being a hater because for Pokemon, I just can't get into it anymore. I can't do it.
You don't like monster fighting, monster taming, monster fighting, that type of thing?
No, if they drop a new Monster Rancher, I'd be all over that shit.
Or another Digimon game.
What, like the Cyber Sleuth ones?
Because
that's just basically 3
Those
on
come out
3.
all the time.
No, that's like 3 on 3 Pokemon, and it's like not that great. And then, like I said, they keep releasing
they
keep releasing one new one like every year and a half, and it's like I don't got the money for spot dropping $60 every year on the same game effectively. But like, yeah, no, like that's good that they have a roadmap. But the thing is like I said, like I have never explicitly said Palworld sucks. It just doesn't look like a game for me. I've watched a bunch of streams on it, and
didn't catch your fancy.
I don't get it. I don't get it. But like I'm
You
not
know
going to
what
go
was
and
a
play
game for
it.
you
But
though?
what's up?
I said, you know what was a game for you though?
What?
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, it was.
So
here we go.
Tell us about it.
So
Tell us about it. Was
after
it was it great?
I was looking at my hours it took me to beat. So it took me about like 18-ish hours to beat the game campaign wise. Like not the longest game, obviously, but also not the shortest. I was talking about this with Time offline the other day, and I cannot explicitly say it's a bad game. I can't.
Okay.
Like,
well, that's what we're here for. We want to know because
I had a lot of fun with the story. The voice acting is great. Deborah Wilson is Waller. Obviously, like Tara Strong is Harley. Samoa Joe is King Shark. I didn't look up who plays Boomerang, but he was good too. But everyone who plays the Justice League, obviously Kevin Conroy is great as Batman as he always is.
That was his last performance, right?
Yeah, it's his last role. They actually have a nice like memorial that they do to him at the end of the game after you beat it. Like it's like a nice like thank you, Kevin. Like a nice speech about like the speech is about Batman, but you can tell it's about Kevin Conroy, which was like I thought that was nicely done. Like the story was solid. Like I didn't have the same gripes people say. Like I can't believe they do Batman like this. It's like in the context of the game makes sense. Like but. That's like a lot of people for the game have been very reactionary to the story. They just watch clips or they look at other people's opinions. Like, but for me, like I said, I was like, if the game's bad, the game's bad. But I need to see it for myself, which I put my money where my mouth was. I bought the game, played it. Combat loop, like I said, like a little janky in some parts, got repetitive. But most of these games like that, like it's the same kind of repetitiveness as like. If like repetitive of a Diablo, or if you were one of those stands for Avengers that really liked Avengers, then you would really like Suicide Squad. But I didn't think it was that bad. Also, like, that's like no, that's it. I'm not because I always hate when I say like not that bad. I wouldn't say it's not like people always say it's not that bad. I would say the game was solid. Did some live service stuff hold back from it a little bit? Yeah, I can't disagree with that, but I still think the basis of the game, the story was fun, but it does suck to think like, I wonder what was potentially cut in favor of the design choice they decided to make with making a live service. But the core itself of just the story itself, the gameplay, the voice acting, visually, was it fun? On all those aspects, I would say yes, but it's not for everyone to drop $70 on. Like I went on Green Man Gaming because they had a discount for it, and for like a launch discount code, so I bought it that way. So I didn't pay full $70 for it, but I would say it's a 6.5, 7 out of 10, realistically. Now I'm not damn sure not gonna say it's near a 10. I'm not gonna say it's a 2 or a 3. I can't like in good faith even say it's anywhere near that bad. But I would say it's a nice run-of-the-mill game. It would be dope to see how it would play with a full 4-player squad, but I don't know nobody has the damn game. So who knows when that'll happen.
I was gonna say now would have been a great time to put in our own little like rating system. I still think we should go with that. The whole like full price Steam discount.
I would say Steam discount.
Eric and I already have one. We already have a rating system. We've had a rating system for 20-some years. Rent, buy, or pass.
Yeah, but rent is no longer an option any longer now.
Well, rent can go either.
We'll figure it
So
out.
now it got to be physical, digital, or pass completely.
No. But that's why I said full price. That's why I said full price, discount, rent, or pass.
Yeah.
I think.
Or Steam refund.
Yeah, exactly. Steam refund. That's what I think the system should be.
It's like, I tell you, do you play it past 2 hours to no longer get that Steam refund window or whatever?
Mhm.
What is it? I think it's 2 hours. Yeah, I think it's like you have to have under 2 hours of gameplay to get like a no questions asked refund on the game on Steam.
I'm an old man, Loon. Shut up.
That is very true.
I would say Steam sale, or if you find it on a deal, get it. If you really,
I feel like that's a solid answer for that type of game. I feel like that's a very solid rating for that type of game specifically, because it just did not.
So you give it a 6.5?
6.5. Yeah, I would say that.
Okay.
Here is my only counter to that.
I was like, it helps if you talk into the microphone.
I gotta hear this.
Sorry, had a problem. Dealt with it. We're good. Anyway, I think my biggest problem with that is anytime you have to go, yeah, I mean, if it weren't for the live service, no, it's a live service game. If not for the thing that it was built to be, it would be a better game. Automatically, it has to knock it down a few points. I'm sure it's got the bones of a really good game. Like, I have no doubt about that. But, like, I feel like the moment that you're, like, it is a live service game. We got to grade it as a live service game. Like, if you were given the choice of playing, like, Suicide Squad, The Avengers, Destiny 2,
The Division.
The Division, any of these games, like, is Suicide Squad even coming close to being something you would want to go pick over any of those? Like, is the superhero, is the story, is like all that stuff enough to make you feel like you're going to get more replay value out of that over those?
See, with this instance, there's a caveat because it's like I feel like the experience would have been better if I had a full squad to play with, and I already did enjoy my time with it. But it sucks that the discourse around the game, in arguably so, like I've been on the belief, and I think I might have said it before in other episodes. It's like not every game should be $70. You gotta really sell me on that to be that $70 game, realistically. Like, but that's why other games
free to play.
If this game were free to play, and like I feel like people would have received it better.
And the point is too.
Or if it dropped at $40.
Yo, that's
not going to happen for a Rocksteady DC property game.
I mean, if nobody's playing it,
welcome.
They'll drop that price very quickly if nobody's playing it.
That is actually a hilarious name.
Yeah, I just saw it on the. Just go on the live chat.
I said welcome, Igga, but then I kind of looked at everything and just put it together. Anyway, welcome. Anyway, we thank you for joining us.
I'm just gonna call them Migs.
That works too.
Wait, no, that doesn't work. I'm not saying anything. I'm not getting context.
Ay, Dios mío.
You ain't getting me. Anyway,
digital extremes.
All right. So, how does Suicide Squad hold up to Helldivers 2?
Haven't played it yet. Helldivers 2 yet, but Helldivers 2 does look a lot of fun. But the thing is, like, is that going to get repetitive? Like, I haven't done a deep dive in the game.
Let me at least introduce everybody to Helldivers 2 so that we know what it is that we're dealing with and why it's a conversation tonight. Because remember last week that we talked about the fact that Microsoft might be breaking those barriers with moving over into that, breaking down the walls and making everything multi-platform. We still don't have any word of that yet. We'll go into some other information about that, in hopes that maybe this is probably the path that we can be going on in order to make sure that Microsoft is multi-platform. But at the same time, so the reason that we're talking today is that over the course of the last week, we've been blessed with a new game from a Sony studio called Helldivers 2. When we talked about it at first, everybody kind of was just like, I don't know. It looks good, but I need a little bit of. I need to see a little bit more. Might have been a little.
Who said that?
I did.
You.
There were other people who definitely said it looks good, but it needed some time to cook if you got it on PC because it had 1 or 2 bugs, which got patched out really quickly. Either way,
now there's a whole planet of bugs. I said there's a whole planet of bugs in the game.
Oh yeah, true.
Yes. Right.
So
anyway, we got blessed with a game from a Sony studio. This is actually supposed to be the first Sony's first party game that released with a concurrent release on PC and the PlayStation 5. So at this time, there is no word that it is coming to an Xbox, but we do have a simultaneous launch between PC and PS5. The idea for Helldivers is somewhat similar to like Starship Troopers. So essentially, you're defending Super Earth from super bugs using super weapons. Okay, it's a bug invasion. Like I said, the PC version had a couple of bugs. It had a little bit of a rough launch, but could we be actually seeing those walls of multi-platform, or that those cross-platform walls becoming more pliable, should I say? Additionally, the real thing that we wanted to do was how fun would it be to play a Starship Troopers game together? Like we could be a Starship Trooper squad. Yes, it is called Starship Troopers. I said it was called Starship Troopers.
I'm saying the recent Starship Troopers game.
Yes, it was like a few months ago.
Oh, okay. I was just making sure.
It was a few months ago.
No, I've been wanting to play Helldivers 2. It looks great.
Wasn't Starship Troopers first person?
Yeah, I think so. First person.
Yeah. Helldivers is a third person shooter, and so from what I'm hearing, it's actually it actually leans into the comedy, but also is serious enough for you to take it seriously. But it's also considered, I believe, it's also going the route of live service. So it has things like microtransactions and things of that nature. Even the article that I read says that the live service elements give you a little bit of a leg up, but nothing game breaking. So it might help you get through a mission or whatever. But then the other side of the live service in this game is that because there's obviously different forms of currency, every currency that you get is earnable through the game and playing the game.
What do they do?
So,
what do the multiple currencies do?
Do you want me to lie?
No, I want you to tell the truth.
Okay. So if you give me a moment, I can actually find out the multiple currencies and what they do. But I know that they had what is it called? All right, let's see. Helldiver 2 microtransactions. So the game has 4 kinds of currencies. One is requisition slips. The second is medals. The third is samples. And the fourth is super credits. The first 3 are only available through playing missions, while you can find super credits in loot containers or through the battle pass. The main way to earn super credits is through real world money. You can use them to lock upgraded armor in the superstore. Some just provide cosmetic changes, while others give you a higher armor rating or passive bonuses. So people get a little leery about things like that because again, you can get all of this through playing the game. You do not have to spend money in order to earn said information or said currency.
So does it take a long ass time to earn all that stuff?
Well, they said by finding chests and battle passes.
Okay. Well, I mean, as long as it's not one of those situations, because you know how some games it's like, oh, you can earn this in game, but it's gonna take you forever.
Here, let me at least share the article.
Where they incentivize you to spend your actual money.
Let's see. It says I can understand why people get concerned about premium currency like super credits. If you spend money on the game, why do you then need to spend extra? So let's see. Do they encourage you to spend your money? They don't really say it. Let's see. It can take up a while to build up the other currency. For example, samples are collected from various places across the map, but you can easily lose them if you die and don't raid your corpse after respawn. These are used to unlock ship modules, which give you permanent upgrades like increased magazine size or reduced cooldown. The game doesn't explain this thoroughly, so if you don't focus on anything beyond the main objectives in each mission, it's really easy to ignore. Let's see. It doesn't really tell you if it really encourages you to do so, but again, they're saying that it's very possible to earn all of these currencies. I did provide the article, so you guys can look over the information. And this way you can determine whether or not it's something that you would want to get into yourself. Helldivers, again, does have a battle pass. It does have that microtransaction. And our mascot is here today, everyone. Welcome.
Miss
Welcome.
Leona is
Told
here.
you. She the mascot.
She definitely shows up right around this time every Wednesday and then walks across the camera. But anyway, so back to Helldivers. What do you think, Hustle? Something that you
I want to play it.
Play it. Would you play it long term?
Yeah.
Do you think
It
it's
looks
enough
like
to get
fun
Loon
multiplayer.
Destiny?
But I played over Destiny. It's not the same.
No,
thing.
I said, is it? Do you think it's enough to get Loon off of Destiny?
Probably. I think. I mean, if enough of us are playing it, I think he'd hop off Destiny to play it.
He would hop off Destiny to play it, but he would not stay away from Destiny permanently. Loon has been playing Destiny from day one, bro. Like, so taking Loon from Destiny is like and Blicky is playing Helldivers 2 right now.
But you're also getting two different experiences out of Helldivers 2 versus
True.
Destiny 2. Because Destiny 2 is like RPG. Almost like an MMO, right? Helldivers 2 just looks like really fun multiplayer. We can go drop in a couple missions, kill some bugs, drop out. Maybe we level up a little bit during that. You know what I mean? Just fun co-op experience.
Okay. I can definitely see that. I don't know about the drop in, drop out. I don't know anything. I don't know much.
Yeah, you do drop in, drop out. Because that's literally so you're called a Helldiver because you drop in on drop pods. So at any point in the game, at least in the first one, people could just drop in and drop out at any point in co-op, and you could have new players just pop in and they drop in through a drop pod. Which can also, I believe the drop pods could kill bugs too if they land on them.
That's crazy.
It's hilarious.
The way that the game looked when I was looking at it on when I saw like little short videos, like I've seen little videos on TikTok, and it looks fun. Like you guys know me. Third person is my jam. First person, not so much.
Yeah.
So like usually any third person shooter, like I'm in there. The only reason that I haven't gotten Helldivers at this point, because I think it's only like what, $40?
Yeah.
Something
Good
like
price.
that. The only reason that I haven't gotten Helldivers at this point is because I've been spending money on other things.
Oh, fucking.
Don't. Nope. That's not it.
The cards.
A piece of possibly one.
That's not
Something
it.
that's in one piece,
I don't believe it.
possibly.
bro.
I'm mad. Is it in 2 pieces?
I've been awful competitive lately, and
4 pieces.
I've been awful competitive lately. I actually just this past weekend on Saturday went to my local tournament and placed 15th out of 43.
Nice.
So I actually ended up getting a little bit of prize, a little prize card or whatever, because there's a special event, so they give out prizing to top 16.
How stank was it in there? What?
You give him PTSD flashbacks, man.
I have a friend who's been playing on a before we get back to Helldivers. I have a friend who's been playing that Weiss Schwartz game.
Weiss Schwartz.
Yeah, he said he's been loving that.
Okay, so I'm gonna make a little bit of an admission here. You guys know me. You guys know, like, if you've ever seen me and know me to any extent, you know that I'm not really a anime waifu type of chaser. Like, I don't really care. Like,
Anime waifu type of chaser.
Yeah, like I'm not like tweaking over Nami in One Piece or Robin or anything like that. I'm not.
So we don't have to worry about you accidentally exposing a folder of horse porn or lolly? Is what you're telling me? We're good?
Wow. No.
What?
If I answer that question in the amount of detail that I want to provide, we're gonna cancel. Period. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's fair.
Like, I am so anti-lolly that I do not like when people don't look like full-blown adults.
I'm just joking because
hey, she's 1,000 years old.
There's things that happened recently. It's a whole thing.
It's wild.
I'm just horsing around. I'm sorry.
I know. So yeah, no. So yeah, but in case you guys didn't know, I do have like a favorite character in an anime, and this favorite character is a child. Okay. And no, it's not like, oh my god, I love her. Like she no, it's Anya from Spy Family.
Of course, Hanson from Dateline.
She's freaking hilarious.
I'm
those faces that she makes are super funny. So because recently Spy Family came out with
the movie.
No, Weiss Schwartz a Weiss Schwartz set. So I ended up getting Anya making a hilarious face on the Weiss Schwartz card.
That's dope.
I actually got a booster box, but you know that's neither here nor there.
Sir.
And 2 decks, and
you have a problem.
Apparently, I got a Meister set because
no, you have a problem. You literally have a problem.
Yeah, he doesn't have enough cards.
You have an addiction, and yet you still don't collect Magic cards.
Huh?
And then you still don't collect Magic cards.
No, I don't like playing Magic like that. I'll play Magic on my phone maybe, but I still don't understand Magic completely, bro.
You already have collaborations now too, right?
Yeah, I'm aware. They have a Baldur's Gate collaboration, and they got a Fallout collaboration coming.
Did they have Godzilla?
I got
who?
I got people that just
Transformers, Doctor Who.
I got people that just give me the collab cards for a franchise I like a lot. So I have all the Transformers cards. So
you never told me that.
Yeah, I got a friend who's built a.
It's not intervention time, Doji. As a matter of fact,
Tim and Pete just give me one. They got
going full ham in March, and so you getting on this train with me, or do I got to do it alone? But either way, I'm going balls to the wall.
You're on your own, but good luck.
This man pockets.
Doji senpai. I mean, like, it's about time. The new set for One Piece comes out March 15th.
I'm gonna be eating ramen by the end of this year.
Naruto.
With careful planning and execution, and
how is that big ass Spy Family box cost?
This box?
No, no, the big one.
The Meister set?
Yes.
The Meister sets are what? $60?
Really? Just for all that?
Yeah, because it's a play mat. That's why it's so big. There's a play mat in here, and like
I thought those was all cards. I was like,
no,
what?
no. It says it's 10 booster packs, an exclusive rubber play mat, a card storage box, which this is the card storage box, and one special promo card. Like
that's not bad. Then.
None of the stuff was crazy expensive.
Although
like,
I'm not gonna lie, I do want that classic Pokemon card set, the first edition.
Oh, you talking about base set?
Yeah, that base.
The one that I was telling you was $500
like,
for a pack.
Yeah. With the case and all that shit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I want that for nostalgia purposes. So
I don't want to spend the money.
Don't buy that shit.
The only reason that I want to buy One Piece booster boxes is because I'm a player. And buying booster boxes, I might need to buy 2 or 3. But buying the booster boxes are going to get me the majority of the cards that I need, such as the secret rares and things like that, the SRs. And that will allow me to build the decks in there that I want to build. I don't want to build all the leaders and all the decks. I want to build like 2 or 3 of them. So I'm going to need the cards that are provided in those booster boxes. And even though they come at random, whatever I'm not going to use, I can always just sell. I can always get rid of them. So, because I'm not that type of person to chase alt arts. I don't need the super high rarities. I just need the cards that I need to put into my deck so I can play and be competitive. And I don't want to spend $50 and $60 and $80 a card because later on it becomes a chase card and I don't have enough. I don't want to do it. So I'd rather have an abundance than not have enough.
Well, let me know.
If you don't got a lot, you don't got any.
Well, let me know when you want to check out that One Piece game setup that they got at Mitsuya.
I mean, I'll do it one day. Like I said, I've seen it. And I was gonna go up there with Luffy, not this past snowstorm, but the one that we had that was on a Monday because they restock on Mondays. Yes, I'm aware they restock up there at Mitsuya. Yes.
What the fuck do you know?
I told you I knew about it when you told me that you were up at Mitsuya. I said I already know about the store. It's one of the 5 or 4 official One Piece trading card game stores in the world. There's one in Houston, or not Houston. There's one in Plano, Texas. There's one in New Jersey. There's one in London, and there's one somewhere else that I can't remember exactly where at the moment. But there are like 4 of them in the world.
That is pretty crazy, though. Like, I don't know. Y'all never went to Mitsuya, right?
Yeah.
We got all right. Next time, like both of y'all are up around here, we gotta plan a trip out there. So you guys check it out. It's crazy.
Like it's like an Asian market, like and then in the back of the store, in the store in the corner is like the One Piece trading card game.
Yeah, that's the supermarket / food court.
Right.
Then like there's also like straight up just Japanese stores. There's a Japanese makeup store.
It's like a strip mall
store, like a toy store, a bookstore / manga store. And something else, can't remember.
Oh no, March is when Temporal Forces for Pokemon drops. Oh man. But I can guarantee you that Temporal Forces for Pokemon will be around for more than like a few days before they start getting scalped.
I'm about to say.
I can guarantee you One Piece is going to sell out like within that weekend, and then it's going to be scalper prices like $300, $400, $500 a box.
Yeah, the One Piece trading card game is popping off way more than the Pokemon trading card game is right now.
At the moment. But it's popping off how the Pokemon trading card game went off when it first came out.
Back in the fucking 90s.
Peak fiction.
Yep. So, and a lot of people are like, well, Bandai just needs to make more product. The problem is that they make a lot of Japanese product, but Bandai also does... Bandai also runs like 5 or 6 games. So if you didn't know, in like a week or two, Dragon Ball Super Fusion Worlds card game also releases. and they'll have a PC client for that as well as physical cards. And so that's another game that is going to be managed and run by Bandai. So
They also
printing is going to be
do
simple.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Huh?
Bandai also does Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, they don't.
You sure they don't?
Yeah, they do Digimon.
Yeah, Konami's Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, my bad. Who's Duel Masters? Is that Bandai? Is that
What,
Man.
like the PC game?
no Duel Masters? It's
Like Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Masters?
no, it's.
Are you talking about? Well, I know Card Fighter Vanguard is the same company that
not
does.
Card Fighter? What the fuck is it called? Hold on.
The only Duel Masters I know is I know Lorcana's Ravensburger.
No, it's literally called Duel Masters.
I think that's a Yu-Gi-Oh.
No, it's not. It's basically
Are you sure?
kind of fake. It's basically fake Yu-Gi-Oh. Well, not. I don't want to say. No disrespect to the manga artists. Not trying to call it fake Yu-Gi-Oh, but it is legitimately a thing called Duel Masters. You can go look it up.
I mean, I've seen Duel Masters.
And they actually have a card game.
Okay.
And
it's not Yu-Gi-Oh.
It's essentially Yu-Gi-Oh, but
You're not thinking of Master Duel, right? The actual
Nope.
Yu-Gi-Oh game? Okay. Like, 'cause
Literally called Duel Masters.
you need to get a source, because I know one knows what the fuck you're talking about. It's like,
Yes, please.
Hold on. I got it.
sauce, please.
I got you, Chief. I want to put it in this chat.
All right. So we will find out more about Duel Masters coming up. But anyway, I know we've diverted off of Helldivers, but there was one more thing, and I think this one will interest time traveling a lot. I don't know what the story is here.
Stop. Just no. I don't want to go. I don't want to do this. Continue.
We're doing it.
I don't know what the story is here. So maybe you can help me, because I've seen a meme about it, about Brock Lesnar like disappearing from the WWE history completely.
Wait, what?
Oh, that.
But now they've taken him off of the cover of WWE 2K24.
Sorry, I thought we were getting into Quadruple A territory.
No. That's not yet.
no.
We still got a few minutes for that.
All right. This is complicated, y'all. Let's just say that Brock has some weird kinks. Not weird. He has some kinks. Not gonna kink shame. But the way he goes about getting his material wasn't the most ethical.
Yeah.
TLDR, Vince McMahon was trying to re-sign a former WWE and UFC superstar who we don't know who it is. It's just a nameless former WWE champion, UFC superstar. I'm sure that the list is endless. But coincidentally, they've dropped all plans for Brock. Take that for what you will. But there was an unnamed individual that Vince may have been forcing a woman to take some videos of her relieving herself.
Allegedly.
Very fitting that you're drinking some water. She was relieving herself. And
All I'm going to say is I got all those jokes out of me last week.
yeah.
All right.
And allegedly, this former UFC champion, may have been on the receiving end of some videos of her doing these acts. And then after receiving those videos, he may have thanked her by calling her a bitch. Allegedly. This might have happened. So The Undertaker's undefeated at WrestleMania, and Pat McAfee has never lost a match.
And CM Punk has never lost to Brock Lesnar.
Who?
CM Punk has never lost to. He's never lost to a certain former wrestler.
Yeah, he's getting the Benoit treatment.
Yep.
Allegedly.
Okay.
That's real shit.
Well, that would explain
now-
why. That would explain why the cover of WWE 2K24 is different.
Yeah, he's got some real shit on his face. I mean, piss on his chest. I mean, Eric, you take this.
I'm just saying. Wait, who was on the cover last year? I don't even remember.
Sheesh. Was it John Cena?
Yeah, John Cena. Yeah, it was. And two. I'm just double checking. Okay, 22 was Rey Mysterio. Why was Roman Reigns not the top runner for being on the cover of this game?
Oh. And Duel Masters was made by Wizards of the Coast and distributed by Takara Tomy.
Wow, wait. Wizards of the Coast put that out? Huh. That's
Speaking
ironic.
of Wizards of the Coast,
Man.
Hasbro has made like $90 million just by allowing him to make Baldur's Gate 3.
It has been a wild few
Oh, like
weeks.
hours. Wait, what'd you say?
Well, a few weeks in terms of what?
Well, I mean, we went from Vince McMahon being exposed again for like the third time, fourth? I don't know.
Once in a lifetime, multiple times in a lifetime, like John Cena versus Brock.
We went from that to it turning out it has Brock Lesnar involved.
Yikes.
I mean, allegedly.
Allegedly,
And-
bronchitis.
Please don't sue me, Brett Favre. And then you had the Vosh. Not as big, obviously, but I mean, just, it's been an interesting time.
Internet be crazy these days.
Too mad.
We are 6 weeks into 2024. I can talk.
Let's not forget
I'm
this.
great at talking.
And then we also got, Jay-Z saying that his wife never got album of the year. And we got Taylor Swift winning a Grammy and a Super Bowl ring at the same time. Congratulations to the Chiefs. So Rajan, you were going to talk about some wrestling stuff.
And yeah, agent.
I was.
Yeah, you were actually on the verge of saying something, and we completely.
Oh no, I was just saying because we were talking about because he had brought up Brock Lesnar was supposed to be on the cover of 2K24 and he's not. But I was like, my question was like, why was Roman?
Why no Roman Reigns? Right?
Why was he not just like the front runner for being on the cover? Like, even though he's been effectively carrying the company the past 2.5 years.
Brock was never on the cover. Let's be clear about that.
Okay.
The cover this year has always been Cody Rhodes for the standard, Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley for the deluxe editions.
Okay.
What Brock Lesnar has been removed from is the advertisement for the
WrestleMania.
40 years of WrestleMania.
Yeah.
This is the 40th year of WrestleMania, or this is the 40th WrestleMania, and this year, and they were doing like a WrestleMania showcase kind of thing. And one of the biggest moments in recent or ever at this point is
Undertaker being defeated.
yeah, and it was Bork. So he was on the poster for it, and they were like, "We're just
taking this away."
Remove
Yeah,
him.
Hey, you know what that means that time?
Hmm.
My boy vacated now has the most titles in history. Let's go vacated.
Yes, sir.
Let's go vacated. Listen, vacated is a very dominant champion. Okay, you don't understand the power of dominance.
Always steps up, carries the company when it needs to happen.
Always.
We don't deserve vacated.
It's true. It's true.
Oh, we don't. Vacated does not deserve us. Okay, so all right, everybody. I need nobody to bite my head off here.
I hate you.
Actually, I have some interesting stuff for this question you asked earlier because I actually thought about it. But continue.
Go ahead.
No. Well, set up. I thought you were going to set up the topic.
Oh, I'm about to set up this next piece though. So
You drive me to drink.
I just want to let everybody know that what we're about to do is we're about to go into something that could be a little triggering for people who know what we're talking about. If you don't know what we're talking about, you'll get just really quickly. So basically, is Skull and Bones the first quadruple A game? First and foremost, we need to set up what a tier game is, a double A, a triple A, so that people can understand. All right. So I think one of the first things we'll do is kind of set the ground rules of what the different tiers are. But for now, we're going to get into the story really quickly. So Ubisoft is releasing Skull and Bones soon. They're actually in another beta for some reason or another. I guess they are not tired of people telling them how mid their game is. Anyway, it's a game that is supposed to give you the thrill of being a pirate and ruling the seas. Recently, Ubisoft has defended the title and its pricing by calling it the world's first quadruple A game. And the backstory behind that is that during an investors meeting, the game's price was challenged by an analyst. So an analyst is basically challenging the price of this game, saying, why are you guys charging $70 for it and you're going live service? You're going to go down the path of live service with battle passes and seasonal events, as well as having an in-game store, premium currency. The game, their argument was that this game should be free to play. Well, the CEO didn't see it that way, and he is the one who actually branded this game as being the world's first quadruple A game. Now, on the flip side of that, as far as players go, many players who have played Skull and Bones do not agree with the title of it being a quadruple A game, and they don't think the game justifies a $70 price tag. One player was even quoted as saying, if this wasn't in development hell, and they didn't need to recoup the cost of development, this game would be $30, $40 max. Like, they're valuing this game at like $30, $40. As a player who has played in the beta, one of the betas, maybe a couple of the betas, just to see how the game has changed from one point to another. My personal opinion, just me, I put about 4 hours in and I felt bored. At first, it's like, all right, I'm doing this, and then it kind of just wears off fast. Now, for context as to how long this game has been in development, we were first told that Skull and Bones went into development in 2013. And it's actually supposed to be coming out in 2 days on the 16th of February. So the first question that I have is, what is this quadruple A? What is a quadruple A game? What like, is that a new term that we're going to be using? Like, so
Ubisoft's going to be using that by themselves, like, to make themselves go sleep at night. Like, I made a quadruple A game. Like, sure,
So what are the tiers? What are the levels? Like, I know we have indie games, but like, how do we get to trip? Like, what's this? Can we explain to everybody what it is from AAA down to indie or whatever the levels are?
This isn't fucking hard.
It doesn't go from.
There are technically no
double A, like C, D. Like, does it go? Like, is it like battery sizes or like?
No.
Oh.
Eric, you go. I'm done.
So for the people who may or may not know, here's how I've always interpreted the tiers, if you will. A would be, I guess these days, because realistically we didn't have it back in the day. A nowadays, I guess, would be like small indie, like your small, like let's say your Untitled Goose Game is an A game, I guess. Or like,
so is there anything under A? Like, is there like an F tier or like is this like tiers?
There's Gollum, that's below A. There's like Rise of Kong, that's below A. Redfall, that's below A.
All right, it's like this. Are you still going?
No, I was gonna say like if people wanted this serious like thing, like nowadays, I would consider like small indie. Double A could be anywhere from like slightly higher budget indie going to like something not published by a big studio, and then Triple A obviously you got your big high budget games, your Call of Duties, your Maddens, your whatever, your World of Warcrafts, your Final Fantasy 14, like Final Fantasy in general. Those are your Triple A games. Quadruple A, that's something special. That's when you get to play. That's when you get to play a pirate on a really outdated engine. That's just chef's kiss.
Je suis pirate. En la Ocean Indian.
Go on time. You got some stuff you want to say. I can see it in your face.
Audience.
Anyone we go next?
Sorry, I'm just doing some homework real quick.
Really?
So,
Is it about Quadruple A games?
Yo, can you?
so anyway,
So is it? Does Quadruple A mean like the studio spent more than like
More than they should have,
500
right?
million on this
if you
game
consider
development?
Quadruple A, you should probably just fucking shoot yourself. I'm sorry, in Minecraft. This drew the getting myself like this is how annoyed I am by this. Like no, all right. So like let's be clear about this. All right. My problem with this is Quadruple A doesn't fucking exist. It's made up. It is a figment of this jackass's imagination. Triple A is Triple A. You have a shit ton of money behind you and you have a shit ton of time. That's Triple A. There's nothing higher than that. There's no need for Quadruple A. All Quadruple A is making this asshole feel good about himself that he's spent 11 years developing a game that no one's gonna play. And like, I feel bad saying that because these people put their freaking work into it. They put the effort into it. They've tried to make something. The ship has sailed.
Literally.
We are out at sea.
Literally, the ship has sailed.
Like, you want to know the tiers? You have indie, which is like garage game. Like, if you really want to go further than indie, you can go garage games. If that's what we really have to go a tier below indie, garage games. All right, but like I would consider garage games to be freaking indie. But like you have indie, which would be single A if you want to use the A system. You have medium budget, which is like I would say a game developed on a game that was developed on the budget of something that could have been made in like 2005. Like I would say that's probably a medium budget AA game. I would say something that has a budget, as freaking stupid as it sounds to say this, but we were just doing the math earlier. I would say something that could be developed for less than $5 or $10 million. I think that's even a little high if I'm being honest with you. But like $5 to $10 million for a AA game, that feels about right. I'd be willing to go to 25 if you wanted to pull my arm. But something that would be hard to fund independently, could benefit from having publishers, but publishers aren't outright needed, right? Like these are things like your Child of Light. I would consider that to probably be a AA game. And then AAA is everything above that. Yes, that includes you, Ubisoft, with your freaking special little freaking snowflake of a game that, again, regretfully, not many people are going to play. That's not, and if that is a Quadruple A game, what a way to splash into the freaking tier system there with the first Quadruple A failure.
Yo, how much did they pay Michelle Rodriguez to be in the advertising for this?
Yo, they paid mad. Yo, the reason I brought
They had
up
a Super Bowl commercial, right?
I don't I think I had
There
a
was a
short
Super Bowl
one.
commercial for it?
Was there a Super Bowl commercial?
No, I don't know. I don't think.
I hope not.
But like when I brought up in our group chat, when I saw like it's, I think I'm out of people here. Like I might be the one who just doom scrolls TikTok the most. When I see people who like don't do ads that much in general on their accounts. B, never post anything about video games, and C, like if you do ads, it's usually like some superfood or like some health thing, protein, G Fuel, whatever, Prime, what have you. And then I saw like 20 different accounts I follow, all doing Skull and Bones ads. And I'm like,
what
the fuck? I was like, where the fuck did this come from? Like, none of y'all care about this game. I was like, get your money, but that must have been a damn good like email they got. Like, I want to talk to you about advertising our game. Yeah, what game is the Skull and Bones? I heard that game's trash. What if we offered you a little 6-figure deal for doing a quick little 2-minute ad on TikTok for it? See, that's some nice numbers you talking about. And I feel like that's how it happened. Because like out of nowhere, all these fucking Skull and Bones ads just came out of fucking nowhere.
I want to be clear about this, okay? Let me be as generous as I can with this. This game could actually potentially be kind of fun. Let's say it is.
If they changed it from before to now, yeah.
Let's just say it winds up being fun. Okay, let's just say it winds up being an actually halfway decent game. There's no way in hell it's going to make its money back.
No.
I don't see a pathway for it. There's too much competition, and it's too middle of the ground at best. At best, at a 5 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10, 11 years of development time, not a shot in hell they're making their money back on this. It's going to require some hardcore Ubisoft fans and some hardcore people who want a pirate experience they're not already getting from Sea of Thieves. It's going to require a user base who isn't currently playing either Suicide Squad, which I know not hard there, or Helldivers,
or Palworld,
or Destiny 2,
or getting ready to save up for Final Fantasy 7.
Like, it's just too much competition in the marketplace for a game that isn't even the game that people wanted.
Let me add on to that too. They're releasing this game the same month that Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth comes out.
They're releasing a game right behind Grand Blue Fantasy Relink.
Yeah,
and in front of Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth
that have come out this
and right
month
behind
alone.
Tekken 8.
This whole month was nothing but bangers for multiplayer. And you release I was going to call it Sea of Thieves because Sea of Thieves is still a better game than this. I was going to call it Sea of Thieves.
You ready for this?
Go ahead.
If we're going to call this a quadruple A game because we spent so much time and money working on it, what the hell is Star Citizen?
A scam.
Exactly.
Boom!
Whoa!
Quadruple A.
First off, I can get out of my ship and I can do on-the-foot combat with a gun in Star Citizen.
That's not what
he
he said. It's based upon time and money. Star Citizen has already raised over $1 billion.
Is the game out?
No, it's still early access.
Kind of.
Is that early access?
It's not out. We don't got.
Actually, no. It's going.
Do we have a version 1.0?
Actually, no. Isn't it going to be fully? At least close to release once
we're on
342 comes out.
320 or
I've
something.
been hearing that Star Citizen's close to release for like
20 years.
It's a scam.
No, I mean it works. No. It exists.
No, it's not a scam because you can play now. You have access.
Play
it. You can literally, but it's never coming out. Like it's never going to have an official release date.
But if you play it, you see why it's not. Because the thing
huge, it's very ambitious. Game, but yes,
no other game is able to provide within that genre or in the industry.
You are such a hater.
Who is?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
who's me?
Oh,
Skull and Bones. Damn.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that But by this, Star Citizen would be a quadruple A or septuple A game because, like I said, they have raised over $1 billion. And guess where that $1 billion comes from? It comes from the people who are buying access, the early access, who are buying ships. There's literally a package where you have had to spend over 10 grand in-game stuff just so you can get access to buying this new package.
Yep.
I did have a funny thing to think of because you brought up the term quadruple A because I didn't even see an article you shared it, but then I actually thought, and I was like, are there any games that I would consider transcending the AAA title, as in they're in their own echelon tier thing? And there's a couple when you think about
Warcraft?
World of Warcraft, I would say it's one of a game. No, 100%. World of Warcraft, Minecraft.
Loon said BG3.
Yeah, I can put BG3 in there.
Yeah.
Minecraft, Fortnite.
Yeah.
Gotta give it its credit.
I think we're shutting down Save the World,
14.
by the way.
Yeah,
I don't put BG3 in there because
even though I don't play Fortnite, I gotta give its credit due. That game makes money and it's still extremely relevant. And then another one I would say coming out soon, just going on launch budget of the game, GTA 6 might be.
Yeah.
It will be a quadruple A game, $2 billion budget.
Wait, is it $2 billion? I didn't know the budget.
GTA 6 budget is $2 billion.
Is that the biggest budget?
yes. All right.
Wow.
So, think about it for a second, Mike. Or Hustle. Think about it for a second, right? We went over how much my rent is, right?
Yeah.
Where's Rockstar?
New York. Oh yeah. Ooh.
What do you think those development costs are? Like, what do you think their lease looks like in their office?
You know what? They're
God.
sleeping in? They're sleeping in them little tiny boxes that Cash Jordan be showing, where they chopped up their.
Yeah,
They
but,
sleep
like, this
in
is what
little-
I'm talking about. When yeah, you're right. Like someone was arguing with me, like, oh, I can't imagine that budget's that much. I'm like, I don't know, man. Rent in New York's expensive. I imagine they pay their developers handsomely.
Yeah, they have. You have to be making six figures to, without a doubt.
$2 billion? Yeah, that sounds reasonable for how long those games make with the rent. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, 14. I think 14 would count as a quadruple A game too. That transcends as well too, because it's literally like these
things are so stupid.
It's a sibling to WoW. If we're talking about like most successful MMOs, right? The two most successful MMOs currently of all time
WoW and
are
Fortnite.
WoW and now 14. They're like the brother and sister, the siblings of the MMO world. They've lasted everything else, and not only that, but 14 came out in a shitty ass state before Yoshi.
This is a Realm Reborn, sir. So
Yeah.
that is different from 14. Secondly,
So, because I was curious real quick, so I went on Zillow and looked up a studio near where Rockstar is located in New York. It's a studio.
3,000.
Guys, my sweet summer child. My sweet summer child. You are insane.
I'm wrong.
$5,000.
It's let's go with on the same street. 1,100 square feet studio. What are we thinking? On Broadway in New York.
1,100 square
On
feet.
Broadway,
That's where Rockstar is located. It's on It's on like
$6,000.
Oh no, 1,100 square feet. I'm gonna go with $8,000.
So I'm looking at 640 Broadway, apartment 8B, New York, 1,117 square feet. So like building down from Rockstar, $11,500.
Oh God! Why? No! What?
$11,500.
To be fair, an 1,100 square foot studio apartment is pretty big.
That's fairly spacious. Yeah,
that's fairly spacious.
That's only 100 less square footage than my house. That's only 100 square footage less than my whole house. So
Well, if
it's
you're
like,
paying $11,000, you might as well just get a house in Jersey and then commute to New York.
exactly.
you know what those people are called?
Think about the commute though. Like
You know
it's
what those
2-3
people are
hours a
called?
day.
Do you really want to be a bridge and tunnel?
Hey man, Pat Train.
Bro, they can afford $11,000 a month. Do you really think that they're gonna care?
You're wilding 11,000.
But great, yeah, that was just one of the first one pop up. But they range anywhere from $3,000 to $7,000 a month for studios or one.
Yeah, I wasn't too off with my first bet.
I mean, if you're gonna live on Broadway, that says a
That's
lot.
a very fancy apartment.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if you're on Broadway, you're stupid.
But the average for that area, you're looking between $3,000 to $7,000 a month
Yes.
for some kind of residential area, residential living.
Yeah, it is expensive as hell living in New York. So like a $2 billion budget, like I don't think that like those things are talked about enough when we're talking about the budget on these games, because I feel like people just forget that like, yeah, studios have to pay people enough money to live places.
Oh,
Like,
I mean, they don't have to. They should, but they don't. They don't.
I mean,
well, I mean, they have to at minimum pay their engineers, otherwise they're not going to be able to have engineers. They don't have to pay like, you know, QA or design or anything. They'll just put all the money in
just
engineering.
let it go when it bugs.
that's $132,000. Bro, that's $132,000 a year in rent.
Yes.
You would have to be all right, to live comfortably, you would have to probably make like 200,000.
Yes.
Even then you're still like, if to live comfortably in our country, your rent / mortgage should not be more than 25 to 30% of your monthly income to live
This is
comfortably.
Comfortably, yeah.
I saw a game developer who used to work for Blizzard on Twitter, and they live over in Europe, and they were just dumbfounded. They were making like a lot less money than their American counterparts, and like they were mad about it still to this day. And it's like, I don't think people in Europe appreciate how expensive it is to live in America. It's like they were just like really upset about it. It's like, yeah, it's because like our rent's super expensive here, our healthcare is super expensive, like everything is expensive. That is why we have to pay. We have to get paid so much.
If you factor in everything that we pay versus everything that person probably has to pay, they're making more money overall.
Oh yeah, that's how it usually winds up being. Yeah. But
so yeah, don't look at the numbers. Look at the cost of living. Like, you want to look at the numbers and be like, oh man, you make so much. It's like, yeah, but have you seen the cost of living in America? It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts around here. Like, when you like, just like it can get pretty nuts. Like, I don't know how much certain things cost where you are, but like even gas around here, that's the other thing. So like in California, gas gets super expensive. So like I've seen gas go up to like $5.25 a gallon, $6 almost, $7 at times.
I heard electric isn't all that cheap either over there.
Yeah, I want to say for my studio, just Katie and I here, my electric is almost $200 and some a month.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip out on
just with my computer running.
Damn.
And yeah, it's like $200 a month.
I'm lucky because I only have like one room that I'm usually constantly in. So like when it comes to electric, it's usually about 60s and sometimes 70s. Summertime, it's a little bit more close to 80s because I'm running the AC, but that's about it.
Yeah,
Heating's a bitch though.
Yeah, that's gas. So yeah, I'm gonna just keep on charging my electric car. I'm not paying for gas. I'm sorry. It's not gonna happen.
Well, I have an electric car myself too, thankfully, so it's not as bad for me.
So it's a relief.
Charge. How much does it cost to charge the car?
So my car doesn't have the kind of battery it should, because I got a pre-owned electric because I was trying to keep my costs cheap. But on a 50-mile charge, it's like $4.
Wait, really? Is that cheap?
50 miles?
Yeah, my car, I average about like 53 miles a use. 53 miles on my car per charge.
Oh.
Yeah, I have a Chevy Spark.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah,
that makes sense. I got it.
Yeah, I got an inexpensive car just to get me around the city.
Yeah, that's probably all you need, right?
Yeah, so about $4 for a 40 or 50-mile charge.
Because I think I paid, like I usually do, I mean, it doesn't matter if I'm on peak or off peak. I never do over $20 to supercharge at like a supercharger station.
What if you
It's
don't?
pretty affordable.
And that's like going from like 10% to like 100%. Like it'll cost me like $16.
What if you don't
Yeah,
super?
sorry.
Not supercharging is cheaper because I would charge at home.
Got you.
And PSE&G gives they have rebate programs and discount programs if you're charging your car at home. So instead of me paying 37 cents per kilowatt hour, I would pay 9 cents per kilowatt hour or 6 cents per kilowatt hour if I charged off peak.
Yeah, I think my electric bill on my car, because my apartment complex is a charge station we can pull into. I think my average bill is about $53 a month.
Oh, it's not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I have an electric car.
So yes. Now, before we wrap up, just want to mention one more thing. It seems that Microsoft is working on a feature, an AI feature that's going to enhance PC games. So let's keep our eyes out for that. Like we already know that Intel's ARC graphics cards are getting better. We'll probably come up with more details, especially if we do an AI revisited episode. You know, maybe we will, maybe we won't. But in the meantime, I think that we've pretty much covered everything. I want you guys to let us know in the comments, you know, what you think about the moniker or the title of a quadruple A game. Definitely, if you have any suggestions for topics or things that you want to hear, any kind of gaming information that you want to know about, you can always feel free to comment on any of our videos, comment on our shorts. Make sure to watch our shorts, comment on our TikTok. We're on TikTok at Start Button or Start Button Live. And I believe that you also have access to all of our Instagrams right here under our pictures. So I would definitely say you can send us questions, comments, concerns, anything that you want to hear, anything that you want to see directly to our Instagram. We'll be more than sure to try to incorporate that into one of our future shows. In the meantime, I want to say thank you all for joining us today. We have given you 2 hours worth of enjoyable, funny content, we hope. If you enjoy, then we ask that you please tune in again next week. But for now, just thank you very much for being here with us. And, you know, we all love and appreciate you. And again, if you have anything like a dream that you want to achieve, sometimes all you got to do is press the start button. We will see you later. Anybody else have any final words?
Deuces! Ooses! Come on, that's how I always finish off.
Yeah, that never works. But anyway, we're signing off. And again, we hope to see you next week. Thank you for joining.
Quadruple A doesn't exist.